versus hard. Force versus allowance. Subtlety versus rigidity. We are talking about the way of life, my friends. Lao Tzu knew it. Bruce Lee knew it. This understanding that I'm going to deliver here, it's an understanding that applies to everything. And once you grasp this idea, you understand the way of life. You understand the way of power. You understand the way of spirit, the way of the universe. And this applies, once again, to everything. If you want to master your sport, if you're an athlete and you want to access flow, if you want to access flow of mind, if you want to walk your path, connected to spirit, aligned with your heart, if you want to manifest easier, this is an understanding that is vital to you and is the understanding of the way of life, okay? Subtlety is the greatest power. The subtle force is the strongest power in the universe, my friends. That's Lao Tzu. Bruce Lee. He said, be like water, my friends. Be fluid and formless. What are they saying here? What is this about? Let's talk about the psychology of this. And that is, if you have expectations, if you have judgments, if you have attachment, if you have reaction and did I say expectation? Those all put you in boxes. They make you rigid of mind. This hinders you. This takes you away from your divine perfection, the perfection of a child, the fluid and formlessness, because your thoughts block action. Your thoughts get in the way of you and life, okay? If you're playing ping pong and you're trying to expect where the other person's going to hit it, if you are anticipating that, if you are thinking about your training and how to hit the ball, if you have judgments, right, you are not present right now. And if you're not present right now, you are not following the way of life. You are slower than you can be, much slower. The reason Bruce Lee was faster than everybody is because he wasn't expecting where they would go. He wasn't expecting what they would do. He was observing, and all he was focused on, he had everything present. He was fully present. He was not relying on old training, right? He was fluid and formless. He would completely be guided by instinct, okay? Be guided by faith and confidence in himself, in spirit, in source, and the way of the universe. This is the soft, formless subtlety, okay? It relies on faith and trust. You must build your faith and trust and confidence in yourself 100%, okay? In order to be soft, you must know. And in order to know, right, you must have, okay, in ping pong, you have to do the training, right, where you're like rigid. Like the moment you try something new, you're going to be rigid. You're going to be forcing it because you've never done it before, right? But when it's time to perform, if you're going into the rap battle, if you're going into the football game, right, if you're an athlete, your performance, it's not time to be training or practicing. It's not time to be hard, and it's not time to be thinking. It's not time to be judging. It's not time to be anticipating nor expecting. It's time to be soft, subtle, formless, and fluid, my friends. It's time to get in the flow of mastery, okay? And to do this, when I play ping pong at the highest levels, it's almost supernatural because I barely hold the paddle. I no longer even see the table. I no longer even see my opponent. It's like everything kind of like zooms out. It's all kind of blurry, right? And I'm just dialed in on the ball. That's it. Like, and I'm not even kind of aware. It's just like, I am the ball. I become one with the action. Lao Tzu. This is the art of non-action. When the doer becomes one with the deed, you are the ping pong game. You are the rally. And when you can do this, when you can tap in like this, you can do your craft, your sport at supernatural speeds where you're almost responding to the hit. You're responding to 3 hits later when you're hitting the ball right then. It's insane. I don't know how, but your subconscious mind is so powerful. Allow it through. Spirit, the way of the universe, so powerful. Allow it through. And to do this, trust yourself. Have faith, right? You can't be doubting. Doubt is death, Bruce Lee. You can't have fear, okay? If you have fear, traps you right back into the lower self. You must have confidence, faith, and trust, right? And then you must get present. Get now, okay? You see, my worst performance is when I am golfing, when I'm playing ping pong, when I was kicking footballs, right? In all these sports, the worst performance is when you're thinking about all these things that you're doing wrong. You're like, nope, my backhand just a little off, right? I gotta make sure I get it down, or okay, redial in here. I gotta focus right here, or I gotta stop doing this part and start doing this one. When it comes to performance, fuck the training. Fuck focusing on what you're doing wrong or trying to. You can't change anything. The moment you start warring with your thoughts in your mind, you're screwed. Okay. You're screwed because you lose the present moment. All of a sudden you're thinking about shit. If you're thinking about the score of the game, if you're even thinking about the score of like this point or anything, no, it doesn't matter. You got to get now. You got to get now, okay? Forget all that. And then ground yourself. Ground yourself in confidence. Ground yourself in knowing that you can fucking kill it, okay? If you're going into a rap battle, I gave a good friend advice like this. I'm just like, yo, you can spit bars unlike anybody else. If they heard you spit when you're in the quiet of your own home at your highest level, at your highest hour, it was like divine, you know? You would be freaking have millions of followers, right? You know you can do it. It's within you, right? Trust yourself to do it right now because you can. You are limitless. And in fact, you can go beyond what you've ever done before right this very second, okay? Ground yourself in that truth. Forget everything you know. Forget it all. Get now. Get now. You can't expect. You cannot anticipate. You cannot judge. You cannot be rigid. You must be fluid and formless. And guess what? When Bruce Lee was talking about expectation, anticipation, judgments, and a plan for his opponent, you got to remember that opponent is you, yourself, and your mind. So, playing ping pong, when you can ground yourself in that confidence, in that trust, or any sport for that matter, anything you do, if you can ground yourself in that confidence of your mastery, right, then you allow yourself to become fluid and formless and soft. You see, my best performances playing ping pong, and I always come back to this because this is the game of flow, is when I barely hold the damn paddle. I don't even feel it anymore. When you hit that perfect golf shot, it's like you're not even holding the golf club anymore, right? The football player, when he's about the quarterback, when he's just on point, shooting basketballs and you're on point, right? It's like you're not doing shit anymore. It's like you're warm. Your hands are warmed up, right? You're warm, like, right? And when you catch it, it's like, it's so natural. You know exactly how to do it, right? You barely have to touch the football. It's like when we're playing ping pong, the ping pong ball never even hits the damn ground. Because literally, like, if like the point is missed, you snatch it up, right? And you're so like fluid and flexible. You're not being like rigid and tight at all. You snatch it up. It's like you barely even have to touch the damn ping pong ball. It's like you barely have to touch whatever sport you're playing. When you are at your peak performance, when you're in the flow, you are so damn soft because you're on point. You're perfect, right? When you are on point, it's like the softest touch because you do only what is absolutely necessary and you have faith and confidence in yourself so you don't have to think or force anything. There you go, okay? Blockages to this. The things that block your peak performance right here on the way of life are things like doubt, right? Which we talked about. A little key for you, there's a sine wave here, right? The flow is like this. So when you're at your very peak, it's going to be awesome. But even within a game of ping pong, right? Even within one match of whatever sport you play, the sine wave is like this, yes. So when you get to the bottom of one, this is where you break your flow. And if you break your flow, it takes a little while to get back into that sine wave. But when you're at the bottom of this wave, right? That's when the lower self can kick in. The doubt, the I need to change this thing so I can get back to the top of that sine wave, or I need to start focusing on this again. No. You need to clear your mind. If you start struggling, if you break the flow, what you need to do, listen right here, real quick. Take a deep breath, clear your mind. All thoughts gone. You need to refresh, okay? You see, the longer you do something, the longer you play ping pong, the longer you do your craft or whatever it is, the longer you're in the flow, the more apt you are to get into a system of thought and playing. When you get into a system of thought and playing, you become rigid, okay? Because you were like, oh, this is what I was doing good at the beginning, so I'm going to keep doing this, right? But the reason that you were so good at the beginning, no matter what you think, no matter what you think you were doing better or what you think you were focusing on, the reason for your peak performance leading up to that point was your freshness. You were fresh. You had the muscle memory already from your training, right? You already had the neural pathways there, and you were confident, trusting, right? Bang. That is why you had your peak performance. So the longer you go, you're going to need to refresh yourself because the flow's going to break. Breathe in, re-ground yourself in confidence and faith and trust, right? And then leave all from your mind. Dial in on the one thing that you need to focus on, which is ball and ping pong, which is like, it's really nothing. It's the full picture almost. Like, you know what I mean here. And third, this is also the key for getting back into the flow, is start dancing to the music of life, okay? When I play ping pong, the music is loud. I throw on a good dancing song or something, right? And what you do here is you start dancing. You start dancing. Know why? Because if you think that this point or this game is important at all, you're fucked. Know why? Because then you are thinking, you are rigid, you're in the realm of thought, and you think this is important, right? Nah, that breaks flow. This is a major key for flow, okay? And that is, you have to be dancing, okay? You have literally, like, and figuratively, be dancing. Because if you dance, you don't care. What happens when people walk into the interview, the major test, the football game, Friday Night Lights? Like, we've all had big, important events in our life. What happens? Walk into the interview, you're all tense, right? And, like, your mouth gets really dry because you're anxious and all this stuff, right? When you go play a football game, or let's say the difference between your football or your sport warm-up, right, and the performance. The difference between these two is the first one, you didn't care. The second one, you care too much, okay? There is something right in between. I'm going to show you this. If you're warming up and your performance is subpar, it is because you're not focused, right? You need to amp up the energy, amp up your vibration, start dancing, right? Get energetic, get focused, and get your fully now, like this. Ready? Now you're time to kill it, right? Ground yourself in that confidence and knowing, and bang, you're in it. But you can't be thinking that this is super important, that your life depends on it or anything like that, because that will trap you. That will make you rigid and tense. You don't want to be tense. You want to be so soft, so supple and formless. You literally gotta be like a damn wind and a whip, okay? A whip. Be a whip. That'll be the next video we're talking about. Anyway. Yeah, that is how you get in the damn flow. Last point here, I just touched on a little bit, but get your vibe up, amp up your energy beforehand. That's also a huge key, because like, you need to be on the right bandwidth, the right frequency, in order to tap into your higher self and supernatural ability. If you still think that strength and power comes from forcing things, like all these power lifters and weightlifters, I beg to differ. Go look at Bruce Lee. He could have like a 900-pound hit. Like, yo, it's all about the whip action. It's all about softness and subtlety, and that is your way to mastery, and it's the way of life. This way of life series, I'm going to make another video right now, so look out for that one. I hope you enjoyed this, all you athletes and masters out there looking into the soft, formless way of life. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Hit that like and share button. Oh, and go get my Formless t-shirt, just because we're freaking awesome. See you next time.